The AWS command line interface, often referred to as AWS CLI, is a command line tool that allows you to manage and interact with AWS services using commands in your command line shell. It provides a consistent interface to interact with services such as Amazon S3, Amazon EC2, and RDS databases, just to name a few. The CLI is built on top of AWS SDK and provides the same functionality as the AWS console, but with the added advantage of you being able to automate tasks and integrate with other tools like scripts and continuous integration systems. It's available for Mac, Windows, and Linux. So anything you can do in the console, you can do it through the AWS CLI. To configure the AWS CLI, you need to execute the AWS Configure command. When you execute the command, it will ask you for the access ID, the secret access key, the AWS region, and the output format. You could also use the AWS Configure import and specify the CSV file with the credentials to be imported. While throughout this course, we won't be using the AWS CLI. However, it's important that you understand how to configure it just in case you use it as your preferred mode of administration. So let's take a look at how you can configure AWS CLI. In order to download the AWS CLI tool, you can go to the AWS documentation and search for AWS CLI. I'll leave a link to this page in the resource section of this lecture. So once you're on this page, scroll down to the section that says AWS CLI install and update instructions, and then select the option for your operating system. I'm on Windows, so I'm going to select that option. So you can download and run the AWS CLI installer. I'm going to execute this command from the command line to install the AWS CLI. So once you open your command prompt, paste the command and execute. Select next to continue, accept the terms and license agreement, then select next. Extend this little drop down icon. When you select this option, the entire features will be installed on the local hard drive. Then select next. Select install to continue. Once the installation is completed, select finish. Relaunch the command prompt to load the AWS CLI modules. So to test if everything is working, type AWS ---- version to check the version of AWS CLI. So the version is 2.95. So the version is 2.915. Now in order for us to do anything using AWS CLI, before you can do anything with the AWS CLI, you need to configure the AWS CLI to interact with your account. So to configure the AWS CLI, we need to type AWS configure. So in order to get the access key ID, we need to now log into the AWS console and get it from the user profile. Once you're logged into the AWS console, you can search for users, select users. So here I have a user which was already created, right? So I'm going to select the user account, and on the security credentials tab, scroll down, and here you can see I have several access keys. However, I'm going to revoke one of this to generate a new one because I can only have 2 active at any given point in time. So the key has been deleted. So I'm going to generate a new access key, and this CSV that I'm going to download, I could also import that CSV file using the AWS configure import and specify the path for that CSV file. However, I'm going to open this file so you see what it looks like, right? Let's minimize that. So I need to get my access key, paste, enter, and then for the secret key, I'm going to copy and paste. For your default region, you can check your default region from the console. So let me go back to the console to get the default region. So from the browser, you can easily spot your default region. So my default region here is US-East-1. So let me grab this, US-East-1. Now enter, and the default output, I can use JSON. And my AWS has been configured. In the next lecture, we're going to be taking a look at Amazon Simple Storage Service.